Iran's leadership legitimizes its rule by posing itself as an anti-imperialist regime that fights against Western influence. Remember, the Ayatollah came to power in direct response to an overthrowing of the Shah, of the Western-backed puppet leader, right? So in a way, the Islamist regime of Iran is a direct response to American, Western, at the very least, imperial power. Now, obviously, day to day, the Iranian leadership is not like fighting America. They're not exactly battling in the streets to remove American occupiers. The past actions of Western governments are very convenient to them now because they can paint a narrative where they're like, hey, you know how the West is evil, right? Right? The West is evil, right? Look at all these things they did to us. And we did do those things to them. Now that we've established the West is evil, let me explain to you how the Ayatollah is the only one who can protect us from Western decadence and cultural influence. Does that make sense? So our past crimes are convenient to their leadership as a way of justifying their power. Putin does the exact same thing, by the way. Exact same thing. So it's pretty common around the world. North Korea, they do the same thing. Countries that don't like the West do this. They like doing this, okay? So Iran doesn't like the West. The people of Iran, based on the polling that I've seen, actually not super anti-Western. A lot of them are relatively worldly educated and, economically developed. A good comparison to this would be China. The government of China is pretty anti-American, and likewise with America's government to China. But the average, Chinese citizen, if you just go over to, Beijing or something and, ask around, you're not going to see this, seething cultural hatred of America present in the people broadly, you know? And that's largely because, as a consequence of being relatively wealthy and educated, it's just kind of hard to keep people in that state. You know what I mean? I'm generalizing a lot, but it is important to understand that the average, Iranian citizen is not some kind of, diehard jihadist. They really, really aren't. A lot of Iranians do not like their leadership. Okay, so with all that being said, Iran wants nukes. And, who could blame them? Iran wants nukes. As a country that has been victimized by foreign powers a few times. I mean, the war with Iraq, the constant threats of invasion from America, the fact that Israel is right over here, and Israel and Iran fucking hate each other. Iran wants nukes. Every country wants nukes, right? Only a few get to actually have them. We had, under Obama, the fantastic Iranian nuclear accords, which were meant to prevent Iran from pursuing a nuclear program, and in exchange, we would lighten up sanctions and unfreeze money. Yeah, the JCPOA. Yeah, I always forget the exact term for it. I always just think of it as the nuclear accords. Obama had this deal signed. Trump got rid of it. It was the best foreign policy thing that Obama did, and Trump destroyed it. Thank you. Yeah, people were saying we were paying Iran to not build nukes, but that's wrong. We froze their money. We were giving them their money back and keeping them from building nukes. So basically, the goal with our program was to make sure they weren't building nukes by having inspectors. It would be pretty easy to see where the nuclear development was taking place, so we thought this was a good arrangement. And then again, Donald Trump destroyed this arrangement. So Iran now has no reason to believe the West can ever be trusted with any kind of international agreement. Guys, we had an anti-nuclear accord with the Ayatollah. The Ayatollah. And we broke it. We broke it. So why would they ever trust us for diplomacy? Ever. Why would they ever trust us for any kind of accord? Frankly, they shouldn't. So the nuclear weapons program is on. And we can't send inspectors to Iran because we don't have the right to. That we broke the deal. So now the question is, when will they get nukes? It's pretty much inevitable that they do, but it's really just a matter of time. They're well developed enough that they could get them. If Israel and the United States ever arrive at the conclusion that Iran is on a rapid path to nuclear development, there is a very high likelihood that we invade. The most likely pretext for this would be Israel claiming that they're acting in self-defense. They would say that Iran would certainly nuke them if they had the nukes, So Israel has to preemptively attack. Now, if Israel invaded Iran, they would lose very badly. So if Israel wanted to engage in military action against Iran under the pretext of preemptively defending themselves against nuclear proliferation, which country would they call on to help them? Obviously. And America doesn't really want Iran to have nukes either. I'm not saying that this is guaranteed to happen. I'm kind of running through a possibility list here. It's basically guaranteed. I don't think it's necessarily guaranteed, but I think there's a decent likelihood. Is there still the possibility of democratic revolution in Iran? Yeah. Vaush, we accepted North Korea having nukes with South Korea right there. We didn't really accept it. Like, North Korea got nukes. Even this is kind of ambivalent. We don't really know the details of their program. And the world's largest demilitarized zone is right underneath them. And also, like, okay, let me put it this way. If South Korea had gotten a memo like 50, 40, whatever years ago saying beep, 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 in 1 month, North Korea will have nuclear weapons. This is your last chance. Beep, 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 beep. South Korea would have marched every single fucking citizen, every single fucking person within their borders northward. They would have marched. It would have been like the fucking rumbling, okay? If they had known they had a window, yeah, they would have simply stomped on North Korea. Yeah, Japan too. And likewise, what if the West, like, what if the West realizes, like, holy shit, Iran has nuclear enrichment facilities. Our spies tell us that they're operating, and we can't stop them because they're in mountain bases that are, like, heavily guarded. We can't send in a team to do anything. The team would just get killed, like it's well guarded. They're gonna have nukes in a year. How do you think Israel and America would handle that information? Like, they don't have nukes now, but they might soon. Not might, they will soon. That's rough. Hopefully it doesn't happen. Again, not an expert on geopolitics. These are just thoughts and concerns that I have. I think it's a future problem we're going to have to deal with. Not that far in the future, though. Enrichment takes a while, but, like, not that long once they get the facilities up and operational. You know,